Christian Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Finding Joy on Death Row, Unexpected Lessons from Lives We Discarded by Dewey Williams. Forward by Reverend Dr. Braxton D. Shelley. Narrated by Bill Andrew Quinn. Though the fig tree does not blossom and no fruit is on the vines, though the produce of the olive fails and the fields yield no food, though the flock is cut off from the fold, and there is no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. Habakkuk, chapter 3, verses 17 through 18. Forward. Entering a prison, for those incarcerated and visitors alike, is an exercise in undressing. The customary removal of devices and instruments that could threaten the operation of life behind bars means that the bodies that gain access to the inner courts of a penal institution weigh far less than they did when they arrived on the premises. Stripped down of items that were important enough to carry, but not safe enough to keep, the souls who move around a prison are all too conscious that the life unfolding on the inside is something different from what transpires on the outside. Each prison is an other space, which is Michel Foucault's phrase for places that stand outside the everyday, exposing the constructedness and arbitrariness of the things we take for granted. Who would have thought that an other space, the inside of the inside, Unit 3 of North Carolina's Central Prison, would give a sad preacher a place to break free? This unlikely story is what unfolds in Reverend Dewey Williams's Finding Joy on Death Row, Unexpected Lessons from Lives We Discarded. We sing about it. We preach about it. We talk about it. But what is joy? My tradition teaches that joy is not happiness. It is not dependent on circumstances. It is that which comes after nights of weeping. Joy, the joy of the Lord. This joy is our strength. Although joy is something that can be talked about in the abstract, it can only be lived out concretely. Joy shows up. Joy invades. Joy can be found in unpredictable places. When Reverend Williams recounts the transformative effects of his visits to death row, he outlines a journey into joy, a story that began decades ago and continues into the present. This journey has carried Reverend Williams through Iowa, Texas, Colorado, and North Carolina, through Duke Divinity School, Yale Divinity School, Durham's Guest Road Prison, and Raleigh's Central Prison. On one occasion in December 2016, I was privileged to witness Reverend Dewey lead those imprisoned in song and in sermon, preaching to them about the joy that the angel brought to shepherds with the announcement of Jesus' birth. As he shared the good news first given to ancient outcasts with those locked away from contemporary society, a palpable and improbable presence of joy arose on death row. That joy could appear when least expected reveals something important about joy itself. As Reverend Williams explains, Christian joy depends not on events, but on God's work in a person's life. And this divine work can greet one in surprising encounters. The close relationships that emerged between Reverend Dewey and those to whom he ministered leap from the chapters of this book. This rapport crossed divisions that are often treated as impermeable. One of the things I love most about this book is the responsible and respectful way that the voices of the incarcerated are woven into the discussion. Their thoughts, their ideas, their understandings of the kinds of joy that are available to them, even and especially in the heart of Central Prison, are essential to the story Reverend Dewey tells. And there is much profundity in what Reverend Dewey's interlocutors have to say. I will never forget the first time Dewey told me about the locked-away man who changed the name of his habitation, claiming that instead of death row, he now lives on life row. Returning to these words in the context of this excellent book clarifies the deep wisdom of these words, one that resides in the substitution of life for death. He is right to claim that despite the name of his assigned section of the penitentiary, the death sentence that will end his life will not necessarily be the final word about his life. For as long as he lives, he will just live. He will so live. In this way, those who are not imprisoned have much in common with this incarcerated sage. For as much as he is on life row,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?